Hello, welcome to this channel. My name is Janet. I'm working through the King James's Bible. Right now I'm in the Old Testament and I'm starting a new book which is called Ezra. So we're starting that book today and I will be covering the first 3 chapters. So if you're ready to learn about this, then let us get started. So Ezra is the name of a man of God who is the one who is going to be leading the people out of Babylon, their exile. That's kind of what this book is all about. So in chapter 1, our story begins with Cyrus, who is the king of Persia. Now he has taken over the land and his victory over the land means he is now in control. So his power is guided by God and he says that he's going to make a proclamation. And this is exactly what Jeremiah the prophet said would happen. So he makes this proclamation throughout all of his kingdom and he puts it in writing. And it says, "All the kingdoms of earth God has given to me. He's told me to build him a house in Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Who are his people? Go up and build this temple." So he's saying that all of those people who used to live in Judah, who were the inhabitants, are now to return to Jerusalem and to build this temple for God. He also says that those who are not able-bodied are to give in terms of contributions. So they're either to give gold or silver or livestock or whatever free will offerings they are going to give for God's temple. So the camps of Judah, of Benjamin, and the Levites, the priests, they go up to Jerusalem and others give them offerings to take along with them for the Lord's temple. King Cyrus also brings out the articles that were taken from God's temple by the king of Babylon, because he'd gone in there, raided it and put it in his own temple. So now he's controller of all of the land. He's got those articles back. He gives these to Prince Sheshbazzar, who is the prince of Judah. So he takes those articles from God's temple that were taken and he is going to take them back and put them in their rightful place. Now, if you want to read what those articles are, check the link under this video for chapter 1 and look at verses 7 to 11. So Prince Sheshbazzar, he returns now to Jerusalem along with all of the captives. Well, the first stage of captives, we'll put it that way, that have been taken to Babylon away from their homeland, Jerusalem. So they're all going now back over to Jerusalem with him, with all of these articles, and this is where we close chapter 1. So in chapter 2, we are given a list of names of all of the people who were captured by the king of Babylon and who are now returning to Jerusalem. Well, this is the first set. This isn't all of them, so we're starting off with these names. And really there should have been 12 names, but there is only 11 listed. Now, many believe that this is a copy error and they've forgotten one name, which I will show you who, from doing research, they believe the name should be. So you can make up your own mind, do your own research and find out for yourself. These are the names of the 12, or the 11 should I say. So we first have Sheshbazzar, who is the chief prince. That's his initial name in chapter 1, but it's actually Zerubbabel, and he is the governor as well. Second name is Jeshua, who is the high priest. Then we have Nehemiah, Serariah, Reliah, Mordecai, Bilshan, Mispah, Bigviah, Rehum, Bana. They're the ones listed, and the 12th, which I've added here, which is not in the actual chapter 2, is Nahamani. That one, people believe, has been dropped. So they are like the 12 tribes that are going back into Jerusalem. That's how I see it, like the 12 apostles. 12 is such an important number in the Bible, so just to reiterate what those 12 are all about. And next we're given a long list of the heads of the families who go from the places like Bethlehem, Bethel and Jericho and on. All of the different families that resided in those areas are to return now. So if you want to read that full list of names, there is a lot. check out the link under this video for chapter 2 and go to verses 3 right through to 35, verse 35. Then we go through a long list of all the priests and the Levite workers in the temple. Their names are all listed. Again, check out the link under this video, and you want to be looking at verses 36 to 57. This also includes the singers and the gatekeepers. A mention under here is the children of Solomon's servants. So these are like the immigrants that maybe they'd gone out to war. This also could have been King David's conquerors. You know, he's gone out, had a war, and they bring back captives. So they get a mention here as well. Now it next goes on to list all the names of those whose genealogy was not certain. So they're not sure exactly which background they come from. Some here are excluded from the priesthood duties until more evidence is found by the priest. So if you want to check out that information, again, the link under this video, and you want to be looking at verses 59 to 63. So all in all, the total of people that are going up first to Jerusalem are 50,000 people. And along with them go horses and camels and donkeys. Now the offerings for the temple that go up with them is 61,000 gold drachmas, 5,000 minas of silver, and 100 priestly garments. And it ends here with it saying that these people now reside in their promised land after this long period of exile. So they're finally back home. And this is where we close chapter 2. So in chapter 3 we open with they've now settled after 7 months. They gather together in Jerusalem to praise God. So they've been in the land for 7 months and now they're all gathering together to give their thanks and praise to God. So obviously at the head of this is Jeshua, the head priest, and Zerubbabel, who is their chief prince. And those two arise and they build an altar for the Lord. So this is the first thing that has been built for the temple. And it allows them then to make burnt offerings and gather and give what they want to praise God. And this goes on both morning right through to the evening. So all the feasts are kept. So they have the Feast of the Tabernacle. That was one of the first when they were out in the wilderness. And then they have the new moon feasts and all of the appointed feasts that are written in the book of law by Moses are kept. And it says they kept all of these feasts from the first day of the 7th month, even though the temple had not been built yet. So they carried out these festivals without a temple. However, they have the altars, so that's the first, and now they are going to start building the temple. And they're calling in the craftspeople and resources from outside as given by the king of Persia. He has basically given them money and he's giving them resources to make this temple come to be. So he's gifted them financial support. They've also got cedar logs from Lebanon because obviously they need that great wood to make it. And then in the 2nd month of 2 years, Zerubbabel and Jeshua organize the temple construction. So it's really starting to build up. And they gather the Levites to oversee the works. Now, once the foundation is built, the priests put on their official attire and play trumpets, and music is played just as in King David's time, because he was the one who used music to praise God. And the people all shout and raise their voices and give thanks at the sight of this foundation of the Lord. Now the reaction is mixed because we've got people there who are new, so to them it's like a new temple and they think, wow, this looks wonderful. But there's older generations there as well that were there when they saw the temple by Solomon, which was a mighty temple. It was made of gold. It was just so... And they are sad. They're kind of weeping because they don't feel it's ever going to be as magnificent as that. This is kind of sinful really because we need to live in the now, whereas they're weeping from the past. But it says the noise was that loud. It's kind of like we had that mixed reaction. You couldn't really hear the crying or the joys. It was a loud mixture of like celebrations and weeping as this foundation is hailed and they are starting to now build back up the temple of the Lord. This is where we finish our chapter for today, chapter 3, and we'll carry on tomorrow with more chapters in the book of Ezra and find out what happens as they start building up their land again, and will they stay aligned with God, because 70 years of exile in Babylon, has that taught them anything? Have they learned? Are they going to grow into a better nation? Let's hope that happens and let's hope that comes true. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you again soon for more within the book of Ezra.